All right, guys, so today we're talking about seller markets, and seller markets are really simple. Again, opposite of the buyer's market where you have low inventory and really like you're seeing a high demand in the index, right? So it's really just like where the demand exceeds the supply of the market. And I will tell you guys that most markets will be sellers markets because this issue stems from 2008, which stems from 1970s, 1980s. And if you want to know where the market's going to go in the next like 20, 30 years, just look at today's birth rates because that will tell you what the demand is going to be in 30 years based on the home buyer like average age, right? So it's really important to understand how to really like decipher what market you're in. And those are all things that you pick up on over time, and it's really just like you just got to do a ton of research and really think about where things are going for yourself as well. So in a seller's market, we will see low inventory. And I believe like most markets, 95% of markets in the United States will be seller's market pretty much for forever. Because again, like there's that lack of like homes that should have been built that were never built, and we're never going to get caught up because of labor and because of material supply and just really how fast these places are moving to you don't want like the government really wants to control like urban sprawl, right? They don't want things to just like kind of jump, right? They kind of want to like let it come out slowly and slowly and slowly, right? They don't want it to be like this because then you'll see like a lot of like towns where you drive from one town and it's like a nice little city, and then you drive through some farmland, and then you see a nice little city, and you drive through some farmland, and then this nice little city. So they want to kind of control that urban sprawl, ideally, is what they're looking to do. So low inventory. We're going to see inventory really just going down. Days on market will also be going down. And generally, you'll see multiple offers on houses, right? You'll see things sell for above asking. And, homes are, again, like going to be like, this is back to the pandemic, like type of seller markets, right? And I think a lot of markets are still like that. So think about like, how it was and the demand that was there and how home prices were going well above asking. Sellers made out. It's a seller's market, right? And as a real estate investor, it's really important to understand what type of market you're in because you're going to be thinking about what is important to you now, right? Is it cash flow? Is it, and we'll get into those market next, right? Is it cash flow? Is it growth, right? And typically most seller markets, the strongest seller markets are generally high growth markets. So you'll see quick sales. Quick sales, within 24 hours, within 12 hours, we've had some stuff during the pandemic that went off in like a year. In a day or like in an hour, right? You get one offer and it's like, all right, take it or leave it kind of thing, right? So you'll see quick sales that really just fly off the market. So pay attention to those things, right? And I'm not saying that there are not ways to find deals off market. There are tons of ways to find deals off market. But it's really important to understand like the macroeconomics of real estate investing and really what the general market is doing, because you're kind of operating as a real estate investor like sort of under the radar, like in the off-market world. And those things will start to bleed into the off-market properties. You'll start seeing multiple offers because investors also understand that, hey, look, it's a seller's market. Like I may have to take a slight hit on this like now, but in the future, the value is going to go up. And remember, I talked about that inventory shortage. That's always just about 3.5 million homes that should have been built in the U.S. that were never built. So it's really important to understand that. Rising prices. Again, home prices will sell like above market value. You'll see things go like 50K over asking, like 40K over asking. Same on the investor level, right? You'll see multiple offers on the investor level as well, and you will start seeing things really just starting to tighten up. Okay, multiple offers. We talked about that. We will start seeing multiple offers on properties. 4, 5, 6 offers during the pandemic. We're getting like 12 offers on properties, and that was average, right? If you didn't get 12, something was wrong with your property. Hate to say it, but that was the case. And sellers will have favorable terms. So they'll get the price that they want. They'll get like the timeline that they want. They get to choose, whatever they want, really. And most of these houses sell as is with no appraisal contingency in, above market, like on the market properties, right? So it's really important to understand that, hey, there is going to be a massive demand and people are going to be overbidding. But as an investor, you're watching that because that helps tell you if you're doing a flip, like what can I pay for this, right? Because you're seeing things go, right? But the key is to not, not overjuice it or not, think like it's going to continue going up, right? At some point, it's going to have to level off or come back down a little bit, like we saw in 2023. So it's really important to understand like what the market's doing. Is it a rising tide? Is it, evening? Is it like kind of receding, right? So look at those days on market. That's always going to be your leading indicator, days on market, and really just like how fast home prices are going. Interest rates are also a leading indicator because if interest rates go up, you tend to kind of shrink that buyer pool. So the market kind of starts like changing a little bit from a seller's market into more of like sort of a buyer's market. So look at what interest rates are doing. If interest rates are going down, you will generally see home prices continue to go up. If interest rates start increasing, then home prices will start evening off, or maybe I don't think it's really going to go down that much. Even in 2023 to 2024, we saw 8.1% increase in the Mid-Atlantic region for home prices on average. So generally, like, you're going to have to move fast. Like, if you see something, you got to jump on it. Their sellers will call for faster close times. And again, like, you could take advantage of this, right? So you could find a deal off market and then flip it, bring it to market, and then just be in the favorable terms. So that's why it's really important to understand what type of market we're in on the on-market properties, on the MLS properties, versus off-market. Because off-market, we're going to be accustomed to waiving appraisal, waiving inspection, doing our own due diligence, right? So this is just a high-level way of thinking and really just figuring out how your property is going to perform, or if you maybe should just hold it, right? Maybe you got it for a good price, and maybe you're like, hey, look, I'm going to hold it. The other thing, too, is that one of the lagging indicators I always say is rent prices, because as home prices go up, you tend to don't see rent prices go up immediately, right? Because it's a lagging indicator. And when I say lagging, it is like almost 2 years behind, because rent prices are back here, right? And they're like, hey, like we gotta wait till these lease terms are over before we can raise rent prices. Rent prices don't go up immediately like mortgages do. So you have to understand that, like, hey, rent prices, that wave is coming. That wave of increase is coming. So I think, like, during the pandemic, they saw an 18% increase in rental prices, and people complained, but at the end of the day, like, you could have seen it coming because, like, of how fast property values went up. So hope this is helpful, and I'll see you guys on the next market. We're going to talk about really what a landlord-friendly state is and what a tenant-friendly state is, and really which one you want to be in. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one.